The second was back to those workplace boundaries and dealing with your managers and knowing your own best practices. So in a practical sense, if I was your manager and I said, okay, Jennifer, I think we're going to be better productive as a team if we all check in. We're going to have like a 1 hour check-in every morning from 9 to 10 a.m. and that'll set us up well, because I've heard of this thing called Scrum, and it might be, I think 1 hour is better than 15 minutes. Actually, we're going to do it that way. And now you're thinking, actually, personally, I find I work very well from 9 to 10 or 9 to 11 when I'm just focused on my own stuff that I need to get done. And then I feel more productive because it's done before we get into all our meetings and distractions and differing priorities and new priorities. And you work better that way. How would you push back against me, who's basically just said, I think we're going to do this? And in my position of authority, do you just have to say, oh, yes, sir, or how do you come back against me on that, knowing for yourself that it's a bad idea?
Yeah, and I think one important thing to keep in mind is to obviously, when it considers a team and a manager, is to look at, what's best for the entire team. So obviously you can't accommodate one person in how they work best if that would go against the whole team. So I could answer the question for me personally, but what would be helpful maybe is also to look at, how would I help people in general with that conversation? And what I would say is to check in again with themselves. So when the request comes, is to have a look at what's the request, what's required. So it's a 9 to 10 a.m. meeting every day to check in. What's the purpose of that meeting? What will be agreed? What is needed to be successful in the day for the whole team? So really looking at the outcomes of that meeting, and then the outcomes of the team in general, and then the outcomes of the client's work specifically as well, and really evaluate that situation. And I would say have a tactic into how you will approach that conversation. And in many situations, people might be unsatisfied with the decision of a manager, but it wouldn't be helpful to be given out about the situation. It would be helpful to come up with a solution. So have a solution in your head as well, to step to your manager and say, look, I actually feel that the whole team would be more productive in this certain way. So let's review what are the tasks that need to be done. And is there a meeting required first thing in the morning to align certain actions for the day? What's the purpose of that meeting? What is coming out of that? And then what do people need to actually do the work they need to do throughout their day? Is that time in the morning necessary to do certain calls or to get specific work done? And, would this person be much more productive in that time to do that work by themselves? It will only be in the manager's benefit to know about that. So when the manager is setting up that meeting, they're thinking of, what would benefit the team in general to get all the work done. So if that's not going to be the case when this meeting is happening, it's not really in the manager's benefit. So it's really just looking at what will be the outcome of saying yes to this request or no. And if you are planning on saying no, what is the suggestion that you'll make? And maybe you will find that actually this time for me, it's really important to get all my work done. Usually by 11 o'clock, I have all the main parts for the day done, and then I review in new projects that I need to work on in the afternoon. Would there be an opportunity to review the timing of that meeting to maybe a time in the afternoon to check in? So it's really about being really clear on how you work well, how the team works well together, what the team needs to communicate in a meeting, and what everyone needs to do their work. Because if the whole team is relying on you on spreading out the work in the morning, nothing much is going to happen if you don't have a meeting. So it's, finding the things that maybe are being able to be communicated by email. Is it something that you could put together as a plan of action at the end of the day and send that out so people have it first thing in the morning? So it would be, you know, a situation to look at on a case-by-case basis, but always focus on the outcome, you know, what would be in the benefit of the team and of the manager as well, and communicate yourself that way and set a boundary that way in a way that's, you know, beneficial to the manager as well, so that they see that you're coming at it with a full heart, with ambition and with the will to have your work done, and not just because you're not interested in doing this meeting.
Yeah, and any good manager, they're not looking to be obeyed, they're looking for the best results. So being able to voice your feedback on it, not as a refusal, but as a suggestion, or actually from my point of view, we might be better off doing it last thing in the day for half an hour every day would probably be enough. What do you think? And here are my reasons, you know. And, you know, if the decision is still, no, it's got to be 9 to 10, just be a team player. And that's what it's got to be, because maybe the team are all over the world and like it's 9 to 10 for you, but for most of the team, it might actually be the last thing in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just got to be suffered and well, suffered might be the wrong word, but it's just got to be done essentially. And it hurts you a little more than it hurts someone else's productivity, but you're the smaller part of the team in this case. So, all right, it is the best overall decision. Let's go.
Yeah, really about working together as well, and not seeing it as someone that is telling you what to do, but someone that is enabling you to do your best work, so they are successful as well, because that's the main purpose of a manager anyway.
That's a great reframe, actually. They're not cracking the whip. They have a different objective. It's the other side of that coin. Well, Jen, it's been great talking to you this morning. So I'll put contact details for you down in the description of the video, but if you'd like to say them aloud for anyone here, who should get in contact with you and how will they do it?
Yeah, thanks so much, Kevin, for having me, and it was a lovely conversation. I think we can keep just exchanging ideas, and it's some food for thought as well. So people can find me on my Linktree if you just look for my name, Jennifer Van Uffelen. You can find me on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm most active on LinkedIn, or you could email me on jennifer@jvucoaching.com. And really for anyone that has maybe troubles with their inner critic, that lose their productivity during their day because they're being distracted, and really people that want to implement change in their life and that want to connect to themselves better so that they can just have a more fulfilling life and connect to others in return as well.
So just about everybody, that sounds like. So everyone should get in touch with Jennifer.
Everyone.
Yeah, I'm sure maybe we'll do this again sometime, but it's been great having these few videos done with you, and have a good one.
Yeah, thanks so much, Kevin.